Here's how I became more consistent with my habits. Before this, it's the typical story of everybody else. They try a habit and they can't stick on it for a long time. Or you try to quit a habit, and same for me. I tried to quit habits. I couldn't. It wasn't until like I read this book called Atomic Habits, which I have right here by the way. I've had this book for like um 4 or 5 years. I can't remember how long. Actually, no. It was like I've had this for 4 years. Um, Great book, by the way. Changed my life forever. Um, and I only read, because I'm starting to reread this, and I only read the first like 60, 70, probably like 80 pages of this book, and this book changed my life forever. Just from reading those 70, 80 pages. It literally changed my life. I never got to finish this book. That's why I'm rereading it now. After all these years I've had it. But like I was um amazed like how much this single book changed my life forever. Like this is one of the best books that you can read. 10 out of 10. Absolutely recommend it. I got more consistent in like the gym, um, work habits like waking up early and recording YouTube videos, uh, meditating, gratitude journaling, so writing down things that I'm grateful for, eating clean. I started getting more and more consistent in these good habits. I stopped bad habits. I stopped eating junk food. I stopped playing video games. I stopped watching porn. I stopped scrolling on social media. Now, am I saying that I didn't slip up every now and then and did those habits and didn't do the other habits? Yes. Consistency isn't about being perfect. Um, Consistency means that you just do the right thing, or not even the right thing, but you just do that certain habit, because it can be a bad habit or a good habit you can consistently do. Um, it just means you're doing it very often. That's all consistency means. And ever since I read this book, I'm telling you, it changed my life forever. And here's some things that I learned from the book that actually will improve how you do, or I mean, not how, but what habits you do throughout your day. First tip I'm going to tell you is that you have to change not the outside behavior, but the inner you first. So you see, people try to change first, like the actions that they do. First, they want to lift weights, right? They want to lift weights. They want to start going to the gym consistently. Maybe you're a guy that age, like maybe you're a guy that same age as me or probably lower, and it's hard for your parents to take you to the gym. Or your parents will take you to the gym because you don't have a gym membership or anything like that, right? First thing I would tell you, bro, get first like the gym membership. Convince your dad if you have a dad, okay? And tell him that you want to start going to the gym, or you want to buy some weights so you can start doing weights, okay? This is just an example, by the way. This is how I got consistent in the gym. I started like buying gym equipment, but I also went to the gym. And a lot of people, like I said, talk about changing their outside behavior, but they don't change the inner you. They don't change their identity. They don't change who they are in the inside. So the outside is never gonna change, because you're not changing how you view yourself. If you view yourself as a guy, let's say, it's an example. Let's say someone comes up to you. Well, let's say there's two guys. I'm sorry. Let's say there's two guys. They're asked the same question. One is asked, well, they're asked the question of, do you want to smoke this joint, or do you want to smoke this, or you want to lit it up, right? You want some? And the first guy says, no, thank you, I'm trying to quit. But the second guy says, no, thanks, I don't smoke. Who do you think is most likely to end up smoking? Or in this case, if it were like a different scenario, drinking, or eating a chocolate, or eating bullshit. who is less likely to eat it or take or consume the drug? The second guy. It's quite interesting. Let's say this guy probably like stopped smoking like 2 days ago. Like the second guy, let's say that. And the first guy has been trying to stop, quote unquote, right? Trying for a month. Why is it that it's different? It's the same scenario, but it's the same. It's the choice of words. It's the change of identity that makes a huge difference. Because the first guy still sees himself as a smoker. He is still capable of doing the action because he views himself as the type of person that does the action. Versus the second guy, yeah, he quit 2 days ago. But he quit not by saying, I'm trying to quit, but by simply saying, I'm not that type of guy anymore. This is how getting rid of habits and even creating new habits work. And you do this subconsciously. But now you have to bring awareness to your habits, the things that you do. Because this is what I started doing. I started bringing awareness of the habits that I do, like video games. I subconsciously just logged into my Xbox, right? Turned on the Xbox and just played video games, whatever it was. I was aware of that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm no longer a gamer. Instantly, I quit video games. I'm telling you, after that moment, for a few couple years, I didn't play a single video game. It wasn't until recently that I played a bit more video games, and yes, I do think video games make you weak. I've been weak lately. I'm gonna admit it. I do think video games are, unless you're playing a game to just sit there and do nothing. Honestly, I think in general though, video games are not good for you. Especially at probably the first initial stages of self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself. It's a big distraction. Even for me right now, it's a big distraction. It's something that you gotta understand. I tried re-implementing video games into my life subconsciously. By the way, I'm more aware of it now. And it didn't work, honestly. It didn't work. I'm just over here distracted when I have tons of things that I could be doing better, like reading a book, recording YouTube videos, working out, doing something productive. But no, here I am, playing video games and playing fucking Fortnite and Halo with my sisters. So yeah, instantly I'm telling you, I quit video games. I'm not a gamer. I'm simply not a gamer. Ever since that moment, I just haven't been a serious gamer. I'm not a gamer at all. I don't play video games because, again, it makes you weak. It makes you distracted. That's just an example of one of the habits that I quit. Another one is junk food. I just simply see myself as the type of guy who's just a fitness guy, right? This is the type of things that you have to start doing when it comes to your habits. That's the first step. It's literally how you view yourself. You gotta change that. The next step, I would say, which is a pretty important step, honestly, is changing your environment. This is actually one of the things that I didn't even know, but when I first moved here to this new place, I became an athlete. I started actually liking sports, and I swear this probably would have happened either way if I moved, because when I first moved here, I was getting into middle school, barely getting into middle school, but where I used to live, right, which was California, so it was COVID-19 time, so I hadn't gone to school. It would have probably been the same thing, honestly, because I'm changing my environment and the people around me. And that means I can create a new version of myself. I literally saw that opportunity to change and be a better version of myself, or just a completely different, not a better version necessarily, but a different version of myself. And once I read that book, I made that into a reality. I became a better version of myself. A newer, better 2.0 Ricky Cervantes. I did those things, and I'm telling you right now, changing your changing your environment is really powerful. The people you're surrounded with, the the places where you stay at, your room, changing the environment in your room can be really powerful. Trust me, it can be really powerful. Changing your environment will change your habits because you change something in your environment and you say, now that I put this like X object on my wall or I've put some weights in my room, I am this type of person. You change your environment, you change the people also that you surround with, the type of media that you consume. If you consume weak shit, like anything of anybody talking about like weak stuff, you're more likely to become that type of person because that's part of your environment. The habits that you see other people doing, you're more likely to do because that's the normal. That's the norm. That's what everybody else is doing. This is like honestly dangerous, but it can be really powerful. And yes, this does mean don't have real like serious friends if you are willing to improve. I understand that's scary, bro. Like all your life you've been told to socialize and be friends with people. I'm not saying don't socialize. I'm just saying don't have serious friends with that want to hang out with you or that you hang out with all the time. That you're playing video games with, or like these people are not gonna understand you. At first, you're gonna quit video games like from your video gamer friends, but then like you were never friends at all. Like you guys will never hang out outside of school or do other activities but play video games because you aren't friends with them. You're friends with the video game and you guys are mutually playing it. That's all it is. Same thing with sports. Like I'm cool with some of my like quote unquote friends, I would say, but yeah, I'm cool with some of the guys on the basketball team. But that's just because we played basketball together. We don't really talk outside of school. We only talk when it's like basketball practice or basketball games. But we're not really friends. You see, this is like it comes around everywhere, right? Because I'm detached from other people because unless of course they're great human beings, they're improving themselves, but I'm mostly detached from everybody because not because I want you know, if they were great people, I would gladly be friends, and I want to be friends with these people. But if they're gonna bring me down, if they're gonna grab me and like bring myself to their level, I don't want that. And stay at their level, by the way, because these are people who are not choosing growth, but rather just staying in the same spot. Never becoming a better version of themselves, never changing their habits, never being aware of the habits that they do, never really improving. You got to be careful with this. You got to be careful with the type of friends that you hang out with, and the best change of like mindsets and people that you can surround yourself with is simply just reading books and watching videos like this. Watching creators that talk about like self-improvement and the goals that you want to get to, because that way you are inputting more things into your brain that actually are about that and not just random shit that your classmates or people you know will talk about. So just be careful with the type of people you surround with because that's going to influence your habits, and surround yourself with more gym content if you want to be, you know, go to the gym. Now be careful with the type of gym content you also find. If you want to be the type of guy who's attractive, aesthetic, probably don't listen to the Trend Twins or Trend Brother, whatever the fuck they're called. Okay, just also be careful with any type of goal that you want to get to. Like if you want to have an attractive girlfriend and you want to do those things, like listen to me, bro, because I was able to do that through like all these things that I'm talking about, like just being consistent in your self improvement, lifting weights, being social, but not like making best friends and just letting them hang out in your house, because again, influence, people will influence you, especially if these people are greater numbers compared to you and you're trying to improve. You're not going to improve and be able to hang out with your now friends. I'm telling you that right now. Unless those friends are honestly on a good path as well, get rid of those. If you want to stay consistent on your good habits, it sounds mean, it sounds harsh, but in this generation, you gotta be careful. Yeah, it sounds mean. Yeah, it sounds bad and evil, but is it really evil if you want to improve? To get rid of people who aren't looking for improvement and that will influence you to not look for improvement. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That you want to improve. You have to outgrow everybody. There's gonna be people. There's gonna be people you outgrow, and you're just gonna not even be friends because of different ideals and stuff like that. Like maybe your parent, yeah, I mean, maybe your friends want to start partying, but you instead want to actually like lock in and improve yourself and socialize with human beings who aren't on their phones all day, or people who are drunk. Like you want to be healthy. You can't be with those type of people and stay in the gym and stay that type of person that is healthy and all those things. You can't. So this is how you stay consistent in your habits. Yes, it's harsh. The first part is changing your identity. It's pretty easy changing your identity. Oh, oh. Um, there is a third thing as well. Sorry, but those first two things are like crucial. All these things I'm talking about are crucial. The third thing to actually like stay consistent with your habits and all those things. Um, Set a timestamp. So literally make a schedule and habit stack. Make a schedule of like what habits you're gonna do throughout your day. Like an example of habit stacking, which is where you stack like habits on top of each other, which you do this subconsciously all the time. Like when you wake up, right, which is a habit. Waking up is still a habit. It's just a habit. Okay. You go to the bathroom. You take a shit. Then after you take a shit, right, you get that which is your first two habits of the day. You know, waking up, going to the bathroom, taking a shit. Then you might get the cue of, oh, I need to brush my teeth. After you brush your teeth, you remember something, or your brain subconsciously thinks of the next habit that they need to do because you stack these habits, and there's not really much resistance for you to do these habits. You just do them, right? Ever realize this? This habit stacking technique is powerful because when you stack habits on top of each other, you just have this like constant flow of habits, which actually creates a one big habit of like a routine. Like one routine is literally your whole entire habit. Like if you have a schedule for your entire day, that entire day is technically a habit because you stacked a bunch of habits and it is constant flow, which yes, you need to write down your schedule of what you're gonna do every single day. And the best technique to do this is to write down the night before the next day what you're gonna do throughout the day, at what time and where and what habit. This is a really powerful technique of habit stacking and creating your own schedule because you're more likely to do the habits that you set yourself the previous night. I tried this the other day, by the way. Like on accident, I didn't want to, but not this last night, but the night before, I didn't write down my schedule, and I woke up. Well, did I write my schedule? I can't remember. No, I didn't. I didn't, and which I should have. Honestly, it's better to write down your schedule and know what to do, to not know what to do. But typically, what I do in my mornings is I wake up, take a shit, meditate, gratitude journal, and I did exactly that. And then I either do homework, I record videos, I read a book, or I go straight to like making my breakfast and stuff like that before school. And I did exactly that. I went to take a shit, I did meditated, gratitude journal, brushed my teeth, blah 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 blah. And I also like just started doing homework because I had homework to do. And I didn't write down anything. All I said was I was gonna wake up at 6. I woke up at 4:50, and I just, without resistance, I just did the normal habits I do. So yeah, habit stacking is powerful. Always write down like your previous night, like this night. Write down what you're gonna do the next day. Like last night, I actually wrote down what I was gonna do today. I wrote down I'm gonna wake up at around 7, and I did wake up around 7. I went to sleep a little too late. I fucking hate going to sleep late. Honestly, I fucking hate it. be that type of guy who literally says those type of things, and you will change your identity and your habits. Trust me. If you say things like, I fucking hate going to sleep, I love going to sleep early, I love sleeping enough, I love these things, your habits are going to change. Like, notice, like, how I speak is how my habits are as well. I woke up, right, and immediately, like, I wrote down everything what I'm going to do. I wrote down, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to take a dump, I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm going to gratitude journal. Not in that order specifically, but and then I'm going to record videos, and I'm going to shower and eat breakfast. Well, not really shower, but just put on cold water to just wake up after this, and I'm going to go to work. After I come back from work, I'm going to lift weights. Well, I'm going to eat something, and I'm going to lift weights. I'm going to then do homework for school, blah, 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 blah. Stuff like that. You just stack habits after habits after habits. Notice how I just, like, stacked everything in my morning routine. Like, my morning routine is literally everything is together. I'm not like stopping, like, the activity completely just like that. All of a sudden I'm gonna meditate, and then I'm gonna go, like, and just sit there and do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just gonna meditate and I'm just gonna sit there and do nothing, and then I'm gonna wait for motivation to do the next thing. No. You have to just stack your habits. You're gonna see this once you flow your habits and actually have a written down schedule of your next day. Trust me, your habits are gonna improve. Your habits are gonna improve. You can do better habits, and yes, at first you will do some of the bad habits, but again, it's about changing your identity. It's about changing, like, even the type of, like, YouTube channels that you are subscribed to. Changing your whole, like, phone, like, how your phone, like, the color and all those things, like, literally just how your phone is, like, the background, changing it to black, changing your icons on your apps to black and gray. All those things will influence the type of person you are, your distractions and all those things. Like, just, it's about micro things. When it comes to habits, it's about the micro things, changing those micro things, noticing what things distract you, noticing and being aware of what you're doing once you come back from work or from school, or what you're doing first thing in the morning on the weekend, or stuff like that. It's about realizing as well what type of habits you're doing good and what habits you're doing bad and stuff like that. So be careful, be aware, do these 3 steps, okay? They sound complicated, but they aren't. First step is literally just change your identity, become the type of person that you want to become, that is, a better version of yourself. The second, change your environment. Don't hang out with the same amount. Don't hang out with the same people that are holding you back. Don't have an environment that's dirty. If you don't want to be a dirty person, don't. Change your environment in some type of way. Change where your bed is, and the third is to actually, like, have a schedule when you're gonna do your habits, what time, all these things, okay? And the last step I would say is pick out which habits are actually good for you, and pick out which habits are neutral and which habits are going to be great for you. And just micro everything. Every single day you're improving this schedule. Now you're keeping the core habits the same, but every single day you're going to follow your schedule even better. You don't need a perfect schedule. Trust me, you don't need a perfect schedule. All you need to do is actually have a consistent schedule, and that's it. Just start with some type of schedule, and eventually you're going to be improving it. You're going to change some things around, what times you do things, all that. Okay, just don't give up on this, bro. Like, I'm telling you, this changed my life forever. This is how I, like, literally improved my life overall, just through habits. Literally changed my life forever. I know, like, I have a great physique. I'm like pretty focused guy. I have a lot of things going on. I'm pretty successful. I've gone to track state a couple of times already, and there's a bunch of things that I've done just because I've changed my habits and I've improved. I'm healthier. I feel better. All those things, and I have a girlfriend. So, if you want more advice like this, or more stories of how I fucked up and how I improved myself, through self-improvement, stuff like that, click that program that's linked down in the description. I have a full-on program that teaches you more things like this, how I've like improved my life. Also click the subscribe button to this channel. Other than that, bro, peace out. Because the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.